All right. Assignment demonstration for basic class declaration and instantiation. Here's my form. I've got obnoxious dark green background color here. Change that while I have the chance. Here's my class. So for mine, I'm just doing items that would be used in, like, I don't know, a game, or could be used probably for something in real life, but the class has a counter in it. Anytime I work with object-oriented programming, I've always found it as a good, not just a debugging tool, but could be valuable information later on. And that's to count the number of items total that get instantiated. And so that starts off at 0, and then every time the constructor is called down here, I increment that. Then I've got 6 properties, just name, weight, cost, and then 3 booleans: is a consumable, is equipment, or is enchanted. I figured those could be like flags as to what the character, if this was a game, what the character could do with the item. And then, like, is enchanted would characterize it like, okay, this affects more than just the basic stats. This could also create, another effect of some kind. And then all the setters and getters. I only have a getter for the number of items. You don't need to change that value. It increments on its own. There is a way to decrement the value when a destructor is called in case you need to destroy items. But since C# uses garbage collection, it's kind of inconsistent, I guess. Just because it might clean it up for you, and then I don't know. I guess you could take a running total and like count the number of objects that exist in a certain, like, keep them all in a certain array or something like that. But the attributes all have setters and getters in case you want to access the private attribute. Then use a public method to get it if you want to see it, set it if you want to change it. Works through all of them. Constructor down here is straightforward. Assigns all of the properties of the object, values that are passed into the constructor function. Pretty straightforward object-oriented programming stuff right here. For the button click on the form, it creates a new item. For this one, it's just going to make a sword. It's called Magic Sword. Here's 10, 150, which are the weight and the value. So it's 10 units and 150 gold. And then it is not a consumable, so that's false. It is equipment, which is true, and then it is enchanted, which is true. I have a text box on the main form that will display this information. It doesn't even need to be this big. I always have a habit of dialing things in once I'm demonstrating it, but yeah, let's see it in action. Pretty straightforward. I'll have to think more about how I'm going to do, because I'm sure we're going to get into inheritance, and how I'm going to work with, because this is just generically for items. Some of these attributes might have to get moved to child classes, depending on how it works out. But yep, show the item, and it just shows the name, the weight, the value, is consumable, is equipment, is enchanted. So pretty straightforward.